Look, I'm an immigrant. One of my missions when it came to the US and Canada was like, I want to show people that Colombians are badasses. I wanted to show that they can help your business grow, they can help you do more sales, they can buy back your time. All of this, you can do that through remote Latinos, and showing that immigrants are literally going to help you. That if you have a passport, you understand other cultures, you've flown to other countries, you understand that there's an opportunity to hire others that are not necessarily in the US, but hire others from Mexico to Argentina, you can grow your business.
Hey everybody, thank you for joining us for today's episode of Disruptors. Today we have Esteban Andrade and Omer Bloch with Remote Latinos, and Esteban flew in from Miami and Omer from Colombia to talk about how to build a remote business in 2024. Guys, I'm on a mission to create 100 millionaires. The information on the show alone is enough to help you become a millionaire in the next 5 to 7 years. If you'll take consistent action, you will become one. And guys, if you get value out of this show, please hit that subscribe button. That way we can create more millionaires. Ready? Let's do it. All right. So starting with you, Esteban, what was life like right before you got into real estate?
Before I was in real estate, I graduated from engineering, and I did engineering for 3.5 years, working for, because I know you are more. So I worked for Magna, which is a Canadian company that manufactures parts, and I worked for Fiat Chrysler Automotive. It's now Stellantis, and they obviously do Fiat, do Ferrari, they do Dodge, they do a lot of different cars that you know about it. So that's what I was doing. Before real estate, I was trying to fill myself, find myself in a situation where I couldn't grow anymore. And that's when I decided to pursue entrepreneurship.
Yep. Gotcha. How about you, Omer?
Yeah, I mean, real estate is relatively new to me because I partnered with Esteban about 2 years ago. Before that, I was doing high-ticket sales, selling agency services and a coaching program, teaching agencies how to scale. It's actually partnered. I met Esteban, and over the last 2 years, we've worked with hundreds of real estate investors, and I started getting much more into the game and understanding, wholesaling and fix and flipping and long-term rentals and the terminology that most people hear but they don't really understand. And what is interesting to me is just how much of the market is changing on a regular basis, like for real estate investors. And it's a new game, but one thing I learned from you, Steve, is just like sales is sales. Whether you're selling real estate, whether you're selling courses, it stays the same. So
yeah. Well, it's interesting that you come from the agency world because I am learning more and more about marketing, and I'm learning more and more about the agency world. And everyone's always trying to sell agency something. Right? I imagine that was you.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say parts of that, right? But I think the one thing about marketing is that it is one of the driving factors to a business, but it's also the first thing that companies cut when things don't go right. So it's a game. It's an interesting game to play because you need marketing to grow a business, but also, at the same time, that's the first thing that gets cut.
Yeah. So how has marketing for its agencies and being a high-ticket closer helped you in this transition into real estate?
I think that agency owners and real estate investors are very similar because agency owners invest into coaching. They go to events and conferences. There's mentorships. And then I go, partner with Esteban, and we're at Family Mastermind. There's Pace Morby's group. And I'm like, this is literally the same thing. It's like the only difference with real estate is it feels like there's a lot more parts to it, where in an agency, it's like, you're scaling the agency. It's okay. People are teaching you how to get to 10K a month, 100K a month. In real estate, it feels a lot, the picture is bigger. Like you can make $1 million a month business. In agencies, it's very rare to scale past $400,000 or $500,000 a month. Like even that is like, wow. And I think the one thing I've learned is that agency owners want to get into real estate and real estate investors want to get into agency and marketing. So, It's a very similar world. I think it's boils down to what people actually want and how they're able to sell and market, because that is the game. It's sales and marketing.
So you're saying like it's kind of like you watch these athletes that want to be rappers.
Exactly.
These rappers, athletes, or I mean these days YouTubers, right? Like athletes that want to be YouTubers. It's bizarre.
It's
how about high-ticket closing? No, actually, take a step back.
Mm-hmm.
Let's explain what is high-ticket closing.
Yeah, and it's something that I tell people that if I was to start doing everything all over again, it is the industry that I would go back into 100%. High ticket closing is selling a product or service that is over $1,000, maybe some people say even $500 over the phone. Majority of high ticket sales. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
but there's people that, for them selling $500 services is like crazy. All right. So to me, I think it starts at $1,000. The high ticket sales that I'm aware of is remote high ticket sales. I know obviously you have an office here and, you can do it in person or remote. But ultimately, high ticket sales is how to be able to sell either a service or a product for at least $1,000 and be able to market and scale up from that. And there's a lot of different services. So we sell, agency services or recruiting services. There's real estate as well. It's anything that's quote unquote high ticket. That's how I see it.
And how does that translate to buying real estate?
It's a great question. I'm going to pass this on to Esteban because I'm not a real estate expert buying real estate. So
Yeah, actually, it's almost the same thing. Is that in agency, you're mostly doing B2B or B2B to B2C, and in the real estate, you're mostly talking with homeowners. These are B2C. You would consider it like a B2C, but the transaction is so big that you still have to apply the same principles that you do in B2B. Because you're essentially buying homes, right? And then you have to sell a home to a buyer, and you have to do essentially the same process. So sales is the most transferable skill in between industries. And I'd say if you go ever in a downturn economy, or something happens, COVID-1 happens, or there is some sort of crash, and you can go plug and play. For example, we were just talking about this. You can go and start a startup. And your startup, even though it's product-led a type of business, you would crush it because most of startups, which are technology businesses, they don't know anything about sales. And they still have to sell their high-ticket yearly services or enterprise-level services to other people. So it's so transferable that once you learn sales in the agency and you learn at high-ticket very, very well, for example, your program is one of the best programs that I've seen because it applies so many good principles from different great mentors and coaches, people that have written books like Never Split the Difference, Sandler. Like there's many different principles that you apply that I also apply in my agency. That once you start doing that in wholesaling or real estate flipping, whatever, is you already become an expert in that set. You already have a sales process.
Right.
So that I'm actually really passionate about helping people in real estate because I know that if I do it in the agency well, it's the same thing with wholesale.
Exactly. Yeah, it's very much the same. So then talk about the transition. So you were an engineer, you worked in these other places. When did you first go? What were you first doing when you went to business for yourself?
I was trying a lot of different things, right? So I heard go V, you got to try a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, until you like the one thing and then focus on that one thing. So that's what I did. And I did Amazon FBA, I did flipping, and I did, private label, and I did a bunch of different things. And at the same time, I did not like majority of them. Like Amazon FBA, I had to sell hundreds of products in order to actually make a profit or actually make it work, which is funny. I actually sold masks 1 year before COVID, which is funny. That's a sad story. But I did not do Amazon FBA all the way through. And then my friend told me there's this thing called lead generation. You could be potentially good at it. And I'm like, yeah, why? Because you have to start the conversations. You have to go for prospects. You have to generate interest. You have to get employment. So that's when he introduced me to lead generation through Facebook ads and through Instagram ads. So he taught me a lot of the good stuff. I worked up for that agency for free, essentially for 8-10 months. And that's how I started knowing that wholesalers had such a big problem with lead generation. The flippers, same thing, right? Creative investors, such a big problem. It's such a big problem. And that one time I did a post, I remember, on the Facebook group, and I was like, let me just test this. And I said, I know how to generate motivated sellers using Facebook ads. Who needs help? It was 50 comments in a Detroit Facebook group. It was 50 comments, and I was like, whoa, this blew up. And literally no one knows how to generate leads. And it's crazy to me because it's such a fundamental in any business, right? Without leads, resistance. Yeah. So my first ever comment was a guy from Argentina, and that guy was a cash buyer that literally used to buy 350 houses in Detroit every year just through auctions. And he did it the traditional way. He used to have like 10 bird dogs literally going around the city, just driving and knocking on doors, negotiating and stuff like that. And they were also the disclosers, which is really interesting. Barracks. Yes, I know. His bird dogs were also the closers. So we did a test with him, and I was like, I can actually charge this guy $1,500, $2,000 for the month of service. And he went about it. And I remember we started generating leads. And the weird thing was very, very like not super technological or systematic. I just sent him a text message with it through Zapier of the address of the lead, of the motivation of the lead, and the name and the phone number and email. He would copy paste it in WhatsApp, send it to his bird dogs, and his bird dogs will drive to the property and lock up the property on the contract, which is crazy. And then if they had issues, he will get on the phone with them while their bird dogs are on the house.
Yeah.
So we started working it, then I integrated him like for the CRM. Then I gave him more tips. He was an old school guy, so it was a little bit hard to do that, like I'll use CRM now. So that resulted in like 24 properties that he got from just like $9,000 in ad spend. And that was a first proof of concept that Facebook lead generation works and that people need it a lot. It's a huge problem, and that I can make a business out of it.
When was this?
This was in between 2019 and 2020. So in 2019, I was already freelancing on this, doing a bunch of the things at freelancing. 2020, it's when it blew up.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So, you started this, and there's just a grand slam right off the bat.
Yeah. And honestly, I had such great clients the first time. I had the shit clients after. But the best clients, I got them to be. I was lucky. I had Victor Romanich. I think you've heard of him. He's from Seattle. He has one of our clients.
Rabichuk, yeah.
Rabichuk. We had him back when he used to have partner. We were super successful with them. And we also had this Argentinian guy that was, a super successful investor in Argentina.
Yeah. Well, that's great that you had success with it, because I still have PTSD. Like, so, a lot of people know me today as the podcast guy or the sales guy, right?
Yeah.
But they don't know that in 2015, like I tried being a coach and then I tried to sell leads, right? Because I figured out how to get leads. Like I was doing PPC before PPC got really popular. So I was like charging $5K and I'll help you learn how to do PPC and hardly sell anything. I also sucked at sales at that time. But I also would I'll just sell you leads. I'll generate the leads and sell them to you. Right now it's like $250 a lead at that time. Right. So it's PPL. And man, the complaints I would get is like the leads suck. And I was like, no, they don't suck because I'm closing these. The leads are totally fine. So you were able to go out there, get leads, and have no challenge as far as like, hey, Esteban, these leads suck.
No.
You're probably a great closer. You're spending tens of thousands on marketing, running appointments, and getting contracts signed. And we both know the only difference between where you are today, where you want to be, are those contracts that you didn't get signed. If you had those contracts signed, you would have more money to spend on marketing, more cash on hand to hire the person that you've been looking to hire, and you wouldn't lose any sleep wondering if that one contract is going to close, which would allow you to have more free time to spend with your loved ones or working on your business instead of working in your business. Once you attend our 2-day event, you'll walk away with all the tools you'll need to create deep personal trust, overcome any objection thrown at you, and get homeowners begging you to buy their home. So you have a choice. You can keep doing what you're doing now and getting the results you've been getting, or you can join the hundreds of people that have attended and are simply crushing their respective real estate markets. To attend our event, go to closemyself.com/realestatesales, and I'll see you there.
Like, hey, Esteban, these leads suck.
No, because the thing is that I did a lot of testing with different industries before that. So before I started my motivated seller campaigns, I tested with guinea pigs. And I called them guinea pigs because they really were guinea pigs, but they were great people. Like they were real estate agents, I also did gym owners. I also did lawyers and like guinea pigs on how to figure out how to get the best type of quality, right? And the best guinea pigs for us was the real estate agents, because it was similar, not same, similar. So the more friction that you put in the forms and the better user experience you make them go through, the higher the quality you can get. But you still, you still will be super dependent on the market and who receives the leads.
Yeah, so explain that again for everyone else that's not as well versed in the market. Yes, we're talking about resistance and quality leads. So explain it again, just maybe say it a different way so everyone gets it.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to ultimately get better quality leads, you have to sacrifice a little bit of volume, which means that if you are going for more quality, you would expect that your leads will cost more because now you're adding more questions to the form. You probably are pre-qualifying people that are the ones that you don't want to work. So things like better ad copy. So if you don't want homeowners that are not, let's say, pre-foreclosure, then you mentioned that, so that qualifies a few disqualifies a few people. So you disqualify through the copy, you disqualify whatever you put in the landing page. This is only for homeowners for this specific area, for this specific amount of or size of the house, or
20 lenders.
yes, exactly.
Okay, well, this doesn't apply to me.
Exactly. And then if you have, for example, a video that pre-sells them on how this works and the type of work that you're going to do, how everything works, and with the type of people that you don't help, that also will disqualify people. But the thing is that you are now actually positioning yourself as that authority that works with people that actually do need your help and other people. Because if you're generating leads for motivated sellers and you're getting buyers, you're doing something wrong in your funnel. If you're getting renters, you're doing something wrong in your funnel. If you're getting wholesalers, well, you're getting funnel hacked a lot. But the next thing is like, how do you ultimately ask the proper questions to not sacrifice all the volume and have a balance between quality and volume, right?
Yeah, because like for us, we have this debate in our office all the time, right? Because we're marketing for people that want to buy courts, right? Like that's what we intend to do. And so the argument is always like for lead mags that we're giving away for free, right? Do we require the phone number or not? As like for me, it's free. The cost is your phone number, right? It might not be a real phone number, but the cost is the phone number. And they're like, well, but we're going to get through a lead. Like, I know, but a lead without a phone number for me is not a lead.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, just an email, like, might as well.
Yeah. It makes, there's so many ways, like right now, the best way to make it work on Facebook is obviously the direct approach. Be like, we have this offer and this is what we can do potentially. But the thing is that everyone's doing the same thing. Everyone is saying, we buy houses cash, sell a house fast. Everyone says the same thing. Mm-hmm. So how do you differentiate from the competition, right? Like, because there was so much noise and homeowners get like attacked by cold callers, attacked by direct mail. And in order for you to get first the hook, the interest, and get familiarity and trust, you have to be different, right? So your positioning, the way that you put your brand, maybe if you do a video, the way that you speak and the offer that you're going to give them. So offers that work, for example, are we're going to be able to give you multiple options for you to sell your house at your convenience. Mm-hmm. Not in 7 days, not in 10 days, whenever is most convenient for you. Or for example, we're also able to buy your house full price. What does full price mean? Something that you and I agree on. Or, top dollar cash offer. What does top dollar cash offer mean? Something that you and I agree on the phone call. So you just reset the expectations in the phone call, like during the sales process. So you set yourself apart, right? You have a great video advertising because like a lot of people are not doing video well, but also a lot of people are not doing the pictures well.
Yeah.
Right. So, and most importantly, if you don't have a pixel that is seasoned with data of actual quality, marketed quality leads, that, for example, people that book employment or a positive conversation, people that were in a contract, and you don't feed pixels with that proper data, it's harder because now you have to like learn fast, learn is slower, and you have to go through the entire basically Facebook learns exactly who you want. So if you send based on that information to the pixel.
Let me ask you this, because I really appreciate talking about like how you separate yourself in the message, right?
Yes.
Close full price at your convenience, right? Versus like we pay cash for those spots. So one thing, this came kind of had like like an epiphany. So when I talk about we don't have to make cash offers, right? And one of the big KPIs for a lot of salespeople or wholesale companies is how many offers did you make, right? So, please don't hate me for this. But we don't believe in making offers. We believe in, quality conversations. And so one of the things is, if we don't make offers at our appointments, we're setting up for failure when we say, hey, get a cash offer in 7 days. So, but, looking at the homeowner's experience, they don't actually want a cash offer. They want cash.
They want the best offer possible.
Right. Like, but the best offer, they want the most amount of money, right? Because those are two different things.
Yeah.
Right. And so, like, why do we say cash offer versus get cash in your time frame, right? Or give money in your pocket. So, like, I did a cage match with RJ Bates the other day. And if anyone watched it, I'm always saying, like, about when exactly would you like to have the money? Well, I'm trying to put the most amount of money in your pocket as possible, but, like, you need to figure out how much you want before I can tell you how much money I'll put in your pocket. And I'm focusing a lot of the language on money in your pocket, cash in your bank account. And I never once mentioned cash offer. So, like, does your copy in general talk about cash offers? We talk about cash.
Well, our copy in general have a lot of A/B testing. So we do say cash offers. We do say you're going to get cash where you're home. You also will say full price, top dollar, multiple offers too. Or we also be like, we're going to remove you from foreclosure, or we're going to remove you from the situation guaranteed, right? Like there's different ways that you can angle it. And at the end of the day, everything works. It's like, how well does it work, right? How well does it ultimately convert in terms of how many people pick up the phone, right? Cost of the lead, right? And then ultimately, are these people that are in the beginning stages of customer awareness, or are they in the end stages of customer awareness? And I'm not sure if you know, or people know about the 5 stages of customer awareness.
Well, that was something with this, right? Because you talk about customer awareness, but this is where I didn't learn about this really well until I got really deep into marketing.
Yeah.
So why don't I talk about the 5 stages of market awareness?
Yeah. So first stage, which is people should already be targeting down, is unaware. Like people don't know that there's a problem. And that's why cold calling takes so much time and so many leads to get one. Because people are unaware that there's a problem, but you triggered them. Like there's a problem. So it takes way more leads to get that one deal.
Exactly.
Right? So you don't want to target them in social media or Google, but you just don't. The other one is that the second one is that there is problem awareness, that there is a problem. I have a problem, and they're like, I'm scratching my head and like, I have an issue going on and so on, right? The other one is that there is solution awareness. That's the third one. So solution awareness, like there's some sort of solution out there that will help me. And the fourth one is going to be, there is a product or there is a service that exists, right? That's a fourth stage of awareness. And the last one, the fifth one, is just fully aware. They probably have gone through your material. They've gone through your website. They've done a lot of Google research. They are fully aware that there's a problem. They're fully aware that there's a solution, right? And they are like very hot, right? You want to focus on from 2 to 5 to target those people so that you can ultimately have higher conversions, right? It's funny that I see you guys talk about closing, right? And Sergeant Bates, you, and who else? There's another guy that...
I mean, the ones that are big ones start talking about closing is we got Steve Morales, you got that client, you got closing.
I really would love to really see what are the closing ratios, right? Because, and what are the actual processes between, is there a setter or is it direct to closer? Right. If there's a setter, your closing ratio could be a little bit higher.
Better be higher.
Exactly. But if there is no setter, your closing ratio is a little bit lower.
Right.
Right.
Also, where did the leads come from?
Exactly. Of course. But these two things are very important in the throughput of the sales process.
So back to awareness. the setter helps develop that awareness.
Correct.
Right. So yeah. So just to summarize, right? Because like again, there's something I just learned this year. Just going into my own marketing journey, unaware, aware that there's a problem, aware that there's a way to solve this problem, found products that solve this problem, and the last one is found your products. So now you've got to solve that. So like Google is like number 5. So Google is like, I have a problem and I need someone to solve it, and then they land on your website. That's number 5, right? That's why those things are so great. But there's other stages that we should also be marketing too,
Of course. Because they're buyers, or in this case, sellers. They're still going to work with you.
Okay. So what are you doing then to market to people that are, because disregard unaware. So what are you doing to market to people that are aware, or people that identify, I have a solution, but I've not taken action?
That have not taken action?
Yeah.
Well,
Because they're selling the solution like, I have a problem. Oh, here's a solution. But yeah, I haven't gone on a computer yet to find that solution.
yeah, well, it's going to depend, because we may be able to educate them in the top funnel by creating videos or value-driven content that also makes them become a lead, but they still not taking action. And then we just retarget them with different better offers or videos or ads that ultimately increase the actual familiarity and trust that you gotta get them, right? Another thing that we make them do is they go through a journey where the first thing that they see on the landing page, one of the first things, is going to be kind of like a video sales letter, where we tell them like, this is what we can do for you. This is what it's in for you, right? This is why you should hear us, you should trust us, and so on. Like, well, lots of social proof, credibility, and so on. This is ultimately why you don't have anything to lose. And also, how does this work, right? And at the end, come work with us. So we indoctrinate them throughout the entire process to make them even more aware that this is the right way.
I've learned this is you creating an awareness bridge.
Yes.
Right. Taking them across from like, hey, you have a problem, to, hey, there's a solution here. By the way, there are other options out here. By the way, like, we're the best.
Yes,
100% solution.
So, but obviously your team, your sales process, your follow-up, the emails that you send, the SMS that you send, all of that is like super important. Even if using that same ad that you used, that they saw that didn't take action, and then running other ads and right after that ad in order to make them at least click and go through the first opt-in, it's important because again, you're moving them through the entire cycle, right? So from the moment that they submit the first lead opt-in, right? And a setter, or in this case, a lead manager, calls them, right? And essentially help them go through the process, pre-qualifies them, but also help them go through the process, right? So imagine that there is all these multiple channels. Here is the setter or the lead manager, who is an very important individual to make them go through the things. Make them understand, first of all, qualify to see if they're the right person, but make them understand why they should trust us. Make them understand that there is some material that they can check out. Make them understand how the other call is going to be one of the most important calls for them, and sell them on the idea that they need to go to that second call, like that offer call, basically, right?
So you started Hustle Media then, was the first entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So our first entrepreneur that wasn't at this.
Yeah. So so FBA was my private brand was Hustle, which is HESEL, inverted E's. So I wanted to do an apparel called Hustle, and I just hustle, and didn't work. So I was like, look at Hustle Media, and that was the first thing I did. And really the way that I do worked or figured out agency is by I reverse engineer heck out of every single agency or programs out there.
So what does that mean?
You're an engineer, and I'm an engineer. What do? We buy the products, therefore our competitors, we take it apart. We do a 3D model of it. We do analysis, and we make our own product.
Okay. Why did it work? What was good about it? Why did they do this? This part doesn't make sense.
100%. That honestly, that's what I earned in the Chrysler. Like they used to buy BMWs.
You said something earlier, right? Funnel hack. You might be getting funnel hack, right? So talk to me about funnel hacking.
Funnel hacking. It's a nature. It's like there is like an in between. There is a gray line in between. It's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing. Like at the end of the day, you're an entrepreneur. You want to figure out what the bidders are doing well. But at the same time, if you're getting it too much because you're getting a lot of attention from others that want to learn from you, or they just want to figure out exactly all you need good in details. This is a funny story because how we met the first time ever is because I funnel hack another agency, the one that he used to work with, and he was the closer. So I funnel hacked my way to meeting him. Tell him about this story.
Well, I used to sell agency services to chiropractors.
Okay.
Which is basically what he does with real estate investors, but working with chiropractors. And we scaled to like 250, 300,000 a month. And one of the founders, his name is Joel Kaplan, he started a coaching program. And then we had a good sales process, obviously, because he's not the only one that did this. He foul hacking means he signed up as another lead, as a doctor, went through the process and pretended like he was interested in the service. Listen, I get hype my camera turned up. Yes, I have no idea, right? And he jumped on
Just asked me to turn it on. I was like, oh, dang it.
which is funny because I used to ask people that, but once you get good at sales, I'm like, I don't really care if you have your camera on and off, phone, walking, driving, like I can sell you at any point. But before when I first started, I think it was important. And yeah, he went through the process and we got on the sales call, and I guess he took the sales call there and implemented it to here is a thing and a
Pitch stick.
I gave everybody everything all the time because I was like, in my head, I was like, they can't ever do it as good as me. So here's yeah, that was my mindset. Like actually, our first client when I was selling the consulting program when we launched it was another chiropractic agency, like literally. So I literally was showing them calls with chiropractors they might take calls with, and I just always had the abundance mindset. I'm like, I don't think you should do it as good as me, and I don't know if it's cocky, but
I mean, you have to have that self-confidence to sell.
100%, you have to. So to me, like it's hard to. You can rip the process, you cannot rip the person.
So funnel hacking is basically signing up on their website, checking out their upsells, their back end,
Everything.
their membership area,
What emails you get when you sign up.
check the emails, check the text confirmations.
Yeah.
What's funny is that the best companies in the world, they do it in a morally well.
They just don't call it funnel hacking.
They just don't call it funnel.
Like
It's research.
It's free, so it's a benchmark.
What do you guys call that? Price stick?
Benchmarking.
Benchmarking. Yeah. So anyway, I bring this up because you were saying like, some of the clients, some of the people that are listening right now that have actual Facebook campaigns or PPC campaigns, they might be getting funnel hacked, right? People are going through it. And I can say for sure, like for me, one of the things that always pissed me off the most, and there's nothing I could do about this, was having wholesalers click on my Google ad, cost me, $45, $50 and ask, can I put you on my buyers list? Like, absolutely not. You just buried $50 of my dollars. You think that did not put me on your
Billy.
Yeah, that's so funny. Okay, so then you did Hustle Media, but then what happened after that?
Well, Hustle Media is still running, and Hustle Media is a elite, very successful marketing agency that does meta ads for real estate investors, high-level real estate investors.
Yeah.
So our clients are very premium, but we learned through time that
So before we continue, where can someone find out more about Hustle Media?
you can go to hustlemedia.com. We post a lot of content. We do a lot of blogs as well that are from podcasts and from different things that we do research on. Actually, we just did one recently about you. We call it Stevetrang STM.
Could be, and that's a good
one. It's a good title, right?
Yeah. But Trang is like intrigued. Okay, so Hustle Media, HESEL.
Not HESEL.
Yeah, Hustle Media. Okay, so you got this going. Then what was the next thing you did?
So the next thing I did was I always wanted to be a vertical integration, do a vertical integration. I saw that, the biggest companies in this space, they do vertical integrations. Like you see, like a lot of the different big guys, they have like a lot of mini companies or different companies, seven-figure companies. And it's kind of like it works like there's a nucleus where it's that person referring to the other companies. And they have coaching, education, they have CRM, they have media company, they have a pay-per-click company, they have the wholesale, all the not vertical wholesale company, like a flipping company. It's like entire vertical integration. So I wanted to do that. And I started, playing around with like the CRM and so on. But there was one big thing, one big need that our clients were looking for. And that's where I saw the opportunity. They needed help with follow-up, with nurture. They needed help with admin stuff. And that's where I was like, okay, I'm going to white label a few virtual assistant companies and see if I can pull it off, right? White labeling means I'm using their product and service and I'm putting in my name and I'm taking care of client success, right? So that's white labeling. They do the fulfillment. I take care of client success. It did work out. A lot of the VA companies honestly suck. And it didn't go with the quality that I wanted. They were not passionate about helping people as I am. One of my core values is that, like, really be obsessed about everything, your clients, your team, and yourself, and you're going to doing a good job. So then I found Omer, who was starting his VA agency back in the day. Now he used to call it the VA agency, where he used to do Filipinos. And I remember I told Omer, dude, go into this website and find Latinos. See if you can actually find some Latinos. Because I know Colombian, I know Mexican, I know Argentinian. They're like hard workers, right? They're like awesome people to hire. So go and find some of them and see if that works out for you and for your clients. And I used to give him a lot of tips here and there, but I also bought his product. I got bought a media buyer. So I can buy the person, but I bought the service to get a media buyer, and it worked out, right? I had that media buyer for a long time, but then I realized this guy has similar core values, has very similar goals, or very aligned goals. Let's see if we can do 50-50 in the real estate investing space, right? A lot of people used to go to him and be like, hey, yeah, this on app and stuff like that. And they don't pull it off. Like they don't send clients and it's only talk and talk. I sent him, I don't know,
20, 30 clients.
30 clients in like a matter of a month or less. He closed a lot. Everything was 50-50. So the relationship was very exciting because my clients were getting serviced by this VA company, and that VA company was giving them amazing people from Latin America. And sometimes from Philippines too, but it was like the perfect time to sit down and be like, what are we going to be? What are we going to be called? Like, how are we going to call this? So we were like, again, like seeing what how the market behaved, and seeing what the other companies are called. That's when we said remote Latinos, and we're going to give birth. And the goal is to not only help like 2,000, 3,000 investors, but like help 10,000 people get careers in the US. So Latinos get careers in the US. And we set a proper vision, proper goal, a proper mission, a proper core values from the very beginning. We're like, let's handshake this, let's make this a deal, and we're going to start fulfilling people also on virtual assistants, which then evolved to be high-level offshore employees. And so remote Latinos is the next marketplace, which is coming up, of the best talent that you could find in Latin America for your business in the United States.
So don't be offended by this question.
For sure.
So is this like onlinejobs.ph? It's just like,
That was one of the ones that we benchmarked.
Sure. Yeah, they're incredible. We use that. We still use them. We hire a lot of people from there. And like people don't realize, because we didn't realize, is that their evaluation is close to $500 million.
oh, it's a major company.
It is like it's like a trend, right? So it's super cool. So
It's like,
it is
like, wait, I want to get some VAs in the Philippines.
and you go there.
Online jobs.
The problem is that there's nobody doing that in Latin America, because we use some services like this couple of services that we use today, and they're great. Nobody hears about them. And I'm like, how is this not coming here? How are people only hiring people in the Philippines? The Filipinos are great. We have Filipinos. They're amazing. They're some of our leaders, and it actually one of my very first employee has been with us. He just hit 3 years yesterday from the Philippines. They're incredible. However, there are certain jobs that they're really good at. If I was to hire someone for sales, appointment setting, Latin America makes much more sense, right? Especially like we're in Arizona right now. Like there's a lot of Spanish speakers. So you hire someone that speaks Spanish. It's like the culture influence is right there. And we just noticed, we're like, how come nobody knows where to find Latin talent? Like they're literally paying us super high ticket, which is awesome. And by the way, like we deserve it. Like we're good. So the part of the ultimate goal is like, okay, well, we're going to keep doing the high ticket and we will help people find the talent. However, let's also start a marketplace and be able to provide them talent without us being directly involved. And that's where, you know, the idea came, because I've told Esteban this for a long time. And I've told really agency owners, because I came from high ticket world, going back to the beginning, and I learned this very early on, that rich people get rich by selling high ticket. Wealthy people get wealthy by selling low ticket. They just sell to the vast majority of the people, right?
Like startups.
Exactly.
And we basically are becoming a startup.
Yeah.
I'm actually it's so crazy. I'm meeting and I'm finding myself, knowing people from Y Combinator. My neighbor, she is there. She wants for me to apply. She works, and she's friends of, you know, Airbnb founders and Instacart founders and Reddit founders. And we're basically, what we're doing, and we got into the startup world by accident, but it was also passionate, and it was fired up by a personal desire of, actually the marketplace was an idea that was not an idea from the beginning. We wanted to be the next level, high level VA. We didn't want to be a VA company. Like a VA company, to me, it's like you're selling lower level individuals. That's how it sounds. We want offshore employees, right? Remote employees. That's what we want. That's how I picture it. And it's gonna 5 people, because my entire team they're all A players. Like there's no team member right now that I can think of that is like a B player. Like because I've done my selection pretty well. And they're, you know, majority from Bogota or Mexico City. But the marketplace grew from the desire. Tell them a story about how we ended up, we ended up using another marketplace that was working at the time.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people in there, but he got into a call with the founder of that marketplace.
Yeah, I didn't know I was on the call with them, because we were using them, and they told us they just stopped our account, and then what they found out is that we are like wholesaling their people, which, and by the way, not illegal. Like we would do that. They just got mad, but the problem is they didn't tell us to stop. Like, hey, what are you doing? They wouldn't be clear, and I just wouldn't be like, yo, just tell me this.
And because I'm not allowed to do this.
Yes, all I chose at PH, as actually banned people from doing that too. They just, as soon as they see a recruiting company, they don't let that happen anymore, which makes sense. You know, you don't want to do that, go for it. So I got a call, and I didn't realize I was talking to the founder, and he was absolutely rude, didn't give me any respect. And I was just sitting there thinking, I'm like, wow, like this, we have helped so many of your people find jobs. Like you're being so selfish. Like I'm paying your bill. It's not like I'm not paying you. Paying your bill. We've helped hundreds of your people.
Exactly what you asked.
Exactly. And not even that, we're paying $300 a month. We're at the top premium package. We're just wholesaling people. We just like found a loot, and, you know, and it is what it is.
Just go hard.
Basically. Yes. Yeah. It's funny because RJ, you know, he did it. We did the, between the, whatever he called it, between the belts. Yeah.
Between the two belts. Yeah.
Yeah. Between the two belts. And he just like roasted me. So you're like a slave. No, not really. Not at all. But yeah, and as I was saying there, I was like, I have never, ever disrespected a customer in my life. Like maybe, you know, we've been 100% with every single person. I'm given, like it happens. Sometimes people don't get exactly what they pay for, and it sucks. Like that is part of nature of business. But I've never been disrespectful to a business owner or a customer. And the way he talked to me, disrespected me. And I was just like, I talked to Esteban like 10 minutes after that happened. I was like, we're going to start a marketplace.
I know, we're going to serve. It was not exactly like it. It was like, oh man, I've never felt more like shit ever in my life. Like I never felt like this before, ever from someone else. And then I was like, why? What happened? But like, this guy just disrespecting me, and it's like, I felt like shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? Like, hey, for what? Oh, because we're using his product. I'm like, we're using LinkedIn too. We're using like Indeed, yeah. And we're paying him, like, give us a better package then. Like, charge us more, right? Yeah. And we'll pay. But no, he decided, how you do something is how you do everything. And I know that his core value is not something that, people driven, customer success driven.
Yeah.
But we are. So we decided, look, you know what? We're going to build something. I don't know how, I've never done software. We're going to build something that is going to be so good, but also it feels good to be part of that. Like the client success, account managers, the customer service people are going to make everyone feel amazing. The community, like we're going to make everyone feel amazing, and we're going to be the difference, right? So that's when we decided to combine Tinder, Bumble, and LinkedIn.
Except they don't date their employees.
Exactly.
I have to make that very clear because he keeps saying Tinder and Bumble because it's a matchmaker. It's a matchmaker, but you don't date your employees.
Usually I was okay.
Well, yeah, so if I go to Remote Latinos, I'm finding talent, and I entice. So this is a temp agency, or this is not a VA agency. This is a place where I can go and like find people that post their resumes. Kind of like back in the day we had monster.com.
Yeah.
Was it kind of like that?
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Brian here with Motivated Leads. For those who don't know us, at Motivated Leads, we connect real estate investors with motivated sellers. Now, when I say motivated sellers, I'm talking about people who own homes who have problems. They may have problems like they just inherited a home and they can't afford to fix it. They may have a hoarder house and can't list it on the market, or they might even be going into foreclosure. We specialize in generating high-quality leads that you can purchase on an a la carte basis. If you're a seasoned real estate investor looking to get more properties to flip or wholesale, hit us up. And I have a special offer for you. Mention Steve Trang when you call in, and we'll give you $300 credit when you sign up. On pay-per-lead, you're only paying per lead. No monthly payments. Plus, if we send you a bad lead, like somebody already listed on the market, we'll refund it. Simple as that. So if you're a real estate investor trying to generate more leads, head over to motivatedleads.com, book a call, and don't forget to mention Steve Trang to get your credit. We look forward to working with you guys.
It's kind of like back in the day we had monster.com.
Yeah.
Was it kind of like that?
The inspiration is a lot on what online job applications done, except there was a couple of things that I feel like they don't do, and that's what we're going to do. One of the biggest ones, and maybe they added it now, but I hate the fact that when I click on a person's profile, I can't see their video. Like that's a huge selling point.
Sounds, I don't know how, like, what I was going to know, like, I want to have more things to make sure that there is a good
Restart.
Correct. And the video is the video is the first thing, right? And then there's also going to be like certain tests that they have to take beforehand, and really like when they create a profile, they're taking their time. We don't want like the quote unquote low level, but the starter people that are like $1, $2, $3 an hour. They're out there. That's all they do is a PH. We want to find people that are getting paid pretty well. Like if you're a brand new business, it might not be the best fit for you in the beginning. But if you're doing 1 or 2 deals a month already, or you're starting to get into the groove of things, you bought Steve's course and you know how to sell, and you're making some money, you don't want to hire a person, even from Colombia, that doesn't speak good English, because they exist. Like there's low-level people all over the world. We want to find people that already have experience, that have been in the space, that have either sold, set appointments, do video editing, graphic design, and they're coming in with experience. And I always like to say, you can, in the first 2 weeks of someone's employment, you could tell they're going to be an A player. They're showing up, they're staying after work, they're training, they're going above and beyond. They're showing you that you made the right decision. And then every time that we had to fire someone, we look back at when they first started, and I'm like, look at that. Missed days, not responsive, bad communication, whatever the case is. And every business owner, I really believe that you really care about people, you overlook that because you want to give people chances. Because I was one of those people that got the chance because I feel like, in the beginning, maybe I was in closing deals. So I like to give people a chance. However, the one difference between me is I was showing up. You never had problems with me showing up. I was a good communicator. So you could tell an A player from the beginning, we want to be able to help those A players, the people that put in the time and effort, and they studied, you guys have a staff here, but I don't know if you guys look into like college resumes when you guys hire people here. I don't know if you guys do.
No, actually college is probably a bad mark. If you graduated college, might be a concern here.
Correct. However, offshore, it is very important. Exactly. What is it? That interesting. That's
America, if you're college educated, it might be a concern.
It's a concern, especially if you're hiring for a sales role. It's like, I'd rather take the guy that's like hungry with zero college, aka me, versus like someone that has like 6-7 year degree. But offshore, if you don't have a college degree, I'm a little bit skeptical. I'm like,
it's competitive.
Exactly. So again, going back to my point, we want to be able to help those people that have put in the time, effort, and invested into themselves, that are coming in from experience, and match them with business owners that, you know, they're scaling their business. You know, I don't want to put a revenue number on it, but they're already kind of established in there. This is what they want to do.
So how are you sourcing these leads?
Many ways. So one, we run ads, just like what Hessa Media does for generating leads for themselves and for the clients. We run ads. Two, we have recruiters. We have recruiters and we have sourcers that are like actively looking for in different platforms. We have affiliates that send us all their family members and friends. I mean, if you're good, you maybe know someone else that's good. And then we have a community as well. So we built a community on Facebook. We have almost, I would say close to 10,000 people in the community. So not a lot, but we also don't want everybody to go into that place. And then also because we've been around for almost 4 years, we built a list of like tens of thousands of people. So a lot of those people, they either have worked for clients or they're actively looking, and we make sure that they're still, actively, good, and we can help them. So in many ways, honestly, it's been a journey. And I mean,
It's crazy how recruitment and sourcing and stuff it's lead generation sales, like literally. So and also the quality of the applicants is going to depend on how it's generated. So if you go and take a look at a company in Colombia that is crushing it, and it has hundreds of people, and this is, let's say, for example, Rapid, or thousands. Rapid is like a huge, big kind of, what is it? It's a car conglomerate. Yeah. And if you go in LinkedIn and you see every single one of their employees, you do an outreach message instead of an email, do a LinkedIn message, right? That is kind of like an active outbound approach where you're telling them, hey, there is an opportunity for you to work here in the United States for a higher salary. They'll probably pay them well, but not as well as you can pay them. Right? You can be very competitive, right? It's not hard, like $5 to $8 an hour to start. Sometimes people ask for 8, 9, 10. That's totally doable. And then you add bonuses, commissions, depending on the role. And then you create lists, right? You create a list of people that are looking for an opportunity or are creating an opportunity.
Yep.
Or you do the email approach, which is you job posts and ads. Yeah. You also put job posts on LinkedIn or Indeed, which actually works really well in Latin America, LinkedIn, Facebook ads, and then people just apply. These people are actively either looking for a job or something. And then you create high quality lists where you nurture that list as well, the sources to that type of job. And that list, whenever we have someone that, let's say, for example, an appointment setter, we can ultimately recycle those applicants because maybe it didn't get the job in here, but it could get the job for this second client. And then ultimately, we're always having a good list in there, right? So there is always inbound and outbound lead generation for sourcing candidates. It's the same thing. It's a funnel, right? It's exactly the same thing as generating leads for clients. So for yourself and also for your clients too. But so for example, me, when I started this business, when I tried to start this business, I knew, oh my God, I got to generate my own clients. And I also got to generate my own applicants and have my entire funnel for applicants. And I was going to be so much work. That's why I wanted to white label it. But then if I hit him, we were 50-50, and he already had something to stop with.
So how do you identify someone as a quality candidate? Because you're talking about like this, like matchmaking, right? Like, is this correct? Do they have to have certain qualifications and then they make it on to remote Latinos and that me as a user can interact?
The way that our funnel is set up right now is we make sure that there is, again, a form with high friction, which means enough questions so we generate enough volume, but with high quality. And there are about 24 questions, for example. If you see our Facebook ads funnel, it's about 24 questions where we ask them, include to ask to get the resume, but also a video, like a short video, tell me why you're a winner, why you should actually be considered for this type of application. And we do one role ad. So appointment setter, that's only one ad. Executive assistant, that's only one ad, right? And they go through the entire. And after that, we check and we check in the CRM whether that's a go or no go, whether there's something missing or everything is completed, right? And those people will go through another pre-interview process where there's going to be like an AI interviewing, like they're essentially answering questions to an AI, and the questions are just there for you to score them ultimately. And then our sourcers will just ultimately identify those potential great people. Sourcers are kind of like the elite appointment setters, basically, and they would also just screen them, right? Making sure that these people are the right fit for the type of clients that we get, for the type of roles that we want, the right skill sets and experience, and that they actually put in effort.
How do you say
knowledge in terms of the interview process? Yeah.
Right, because you have to screen them before they even make it onto the website.
So what is application? Them they submit, like we give them about 30 questions to answer. So all sorts of questions. They submit a video and a resume.
Most video I can see.
The video you can see all the time. Then they do the interview, my AI interview. Most people don't even submit the application. Their video sucks or the resume is incomplete. So that they eliminate themselves before we even have a chance. Once they make it past the AI interview, we identify which person which role does this person would go to in terms of our clients, because we don't want to just recruit random people. You want to identify specific needs of our clients that they're looking, and then we interview them internally one more time. But the interview is set up towards as if we are working for the client. So when we say what is Remote Latinos, we're fractional recruiting service. So instead of you hiring a full-time recruiter, you hire us and we do all the heavy lifting as a recruiter would do, except for fractional the cost, because we're not working full-time for you.
All right.
So again, application, video, resume, AI interview, and a personal interview, like a specific interview for now, the one thing that all of these 5 things correlate with is communication, because there are people that will do everything right. They are the worst communicator. They're slow at responding. Their English is off. Something is off. And that tells us a lot, because that's something that I tell my team all the time for years. That's a major thing that we need to incorporate, because here, Steve, you can just walk into someone's office. They don't have to be the greatest communicator. As long as they're in the office, you can just walk in, knock, and ask them a question. When you have a remote team, communication, everything surrounds by communication. It doesn't matter the industry, right? So you can tell a lot by a person how fast they respond, how responsive they are, especially throughout the day. Of course, if it's at night, I get it. But during the day, how responsive are they and how badly they want it? And you'll see there's 2 types of candidates. There's candidates that are looking for a job, they're jobless, or candidates that are currently working, they're not looking for a job. So those are the best people. The best people are not working. They're not looking for a job. Yeah. So those people, we have to give them a little bit of leeway because they're working and they're not going to be communicating with us fast. But we have to also take into consideration, how badly do they want. That's where the sales comes in. How badly can we sell the client and service to them? Because sometimes they're currently working, but they're not happy because they feel stuck. They want more money. They want a different opportunity.
We want to also do the sourcing journey or of these applicants challenging, because they need to go through personal keeper sites. And they need to only do skill tests for the role that they're applying into, or a custom skill test that they find would actually, because we want to get into players, people that go above and beyond, people that are not lazy about doing this, that are responsive, right, that are showing up. We want to get those people, right? And we only present 3 to 5 max, right? Whenever clients coming to work with us. The goal, for example, of the marketplace is that it will give you scores and also will help you sort through the percentage of matchmaking, right? Whether it matches your profile, your core values, matches the role, skills that you want, experience that you're needing for that specific role. So we also want to make your life easier by presenting the least amount of people.
Yeah, that's why I was interested in that, because you're applying for a job and they don't have a job yet.
Yes.
Explain to me the AI interview, because I think this is something I'm probably going to steal right after this.
Definitely should. The 100% steal.
What does the AI interview?
So the AI interview is a software. You can literally go to myinterview.com.
landry.com.
Yes. And that one, ultimately, you can set it up for people to answer a few questions in the video as if they're answering to someone in front of you. And you can make it so human like that you can only give them a 5-second break between questions, no tries. If The AI interview would ultimately give you a summary and their own takeaways and feedback about that specific person. They compiled up all the questions and answer that they get. And you can also give a prompt or establish a rule like, these are the 2 questions that I wanted to be a must and non-negotiable. And you can ultimately score that real fast. But the goal is to get on the computer, they're going to start answering questions as if there is a human here, and they need to be prepared. You will tell if people actually are reading through the screen, right?
Yep.
You will tell if they are sounding robotic or whatever, something like that.
So, and once you start, they can't do it again.
Yeah.
So it's like they can't just refresh unless you give them another try. So I do like to give people 2 tries because I think like, it depends on the role. I think with sales, it's 1 try, but like video editors, I'm like, dude, these guys are not taking videos themselves.
But also, like, taking video, I know it's another skill itself, right? Like putting yourself in camera and like talk to the camera without getting nervous is a skill. But my interview make it sound and make it feel like it's just, is it an AI bot on the other side? Is it like a ChatGPT prompts? And it's questions that you set up.
Yeah.
With questions. Yeah. Like, is it like, are they reading a question and answering it? Or is there like a fake?
No, it's just a question. That would be cool.
But I think that in their development,
they're probably not so late.
They're also playing with Hey Gen last week, right? Familiar with that one?
yeah,
They were signing with it, and it looks really cool. But man, like you could tell this other person is.
yeah.
So you give it a script, and they read it, and like if it was like, hey, welcome to our community, it's just good enough.
Yeah.
Right. But it was like reading like a 30-second script. It was like, oh my god, this.
Yeah, it's not there yet. It's not there yet.
Yeah. So I was hoping that you kind of found something there for me. Okay, so we talked about, how to build a remote business 20. So, we learned a lot in the last few years. COVID helped accelerate this remote movement, but also, I think in the last couple of years, we've seen kind of like, hey, let's undo this remote movement at least a little bit.
Some people, yeah.
Right? So for someone that's listening right now, how do you build a remote business?
Well, first of all, building a remote business is not as easy as you think. A lot of people don't go about it, don't teach it because they never tried it.
Well, I'm saying a lot harder. Like, yeah, my experience is a lot harder to do than running an in-person business.
It's easy. And the thing is that I can always go and tap his shoulder and ask him something, or just look at him to keep him accountable. And you know what I mean? You can't really do that in a remote setting. So it's all about the systems that you set up. If you set up the proper systems, which we, by the way, we created a YouTube video about this, like a few of the systems, and not everything, because like there is a lot more. There's a YouTube video about how to ultimately the systems that you needed to set up a good remote environment. But at the end of the day, you can create culture. You can create great communication loops, feedback loops, and so on through great communication channel where it's a Slack, Zooms, and a cadence that makes sense for their feedback loops, for their meetings, and having a specific system or a specific cadence for those meetings. Whenever you do remote settings, the meetings are extremely important to make them both culture driven, but also to make them effective. So we get things done. Because I know I'm not going to see you in the next few hours. You may want to, tell me a few things by text and things like that. But I'm not going to see you in the next few hours. And I'm going to tell you another thing that we do in order to help our clients kind of track and keep people accountable. But you need to be able to have a good meeting cadence, right? So at the beginning, for example, you want to make sure that there's wins, good news, there is good thing going on, that maybe you do some sort of KPI tracking, because you want to make sure that whatever it is that you're measuring them on, they give it to you every single time that you do, for example, a morning meeting, right? Whether that's account management, sales, whether that's FISPA, whatever. And then you would give some announcements and then jump into some sort of training or like role play or whatever that is, right?
Right.
That's one way to do a cadence. And if you do that, then you'll develop a great way of delivering meetings. And then the other way is those notifications that you need to set up so that they get reminders about giving you an end of the day report, submitting their KPIs, and doing that so easy so that you have great visibility and a great feedback feed every single day and at the end of the week as well. Even at the end of the month, it's important, right? So we use a Slack channel, for example, for great communication with Zoom, see each other. A great CRM that tracks their activity. And we even use this software called Hubstaff. It's Hubstaff, right? So Hubstaff, I don't know if you've heard of TIP or like Time Doctor, that ultimately tells you what's going on and what's happening. Sometimes even you can select that it's taking screenshots. It's not trying to be a micromanager because honestly, I don't really look at it. But if there's something off, there's miscommunication, I could go there and check if there's any type of, gap or something, right? But at the end of the day, the remote setting, it's hard because of culture creation, but it's super, super doable. And actually, Omer has a great culture, and it is when we started this business, that was one of my beliefs that if I can't talk to someone, how can I feel good about being in that place, right? Because when I used to go to my engineering job with Chrysler, we used to, have fun during the breaks and like talk to each other and sometimes play a joke and stuff like that. And it was a good environment, right? And the manager would come and appreciate you, all of a sudden recognize you. There is a culture, right? But in this like remote setting, it's different. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was just saying the culture piece is so big because I think the hardest thing about remote work is building a culture. Like everything else is like you can track it. Sales, okay, here's script, sell it. Here's account management. Here's the paperwork, dispo. Like you can do the work, but building a culture remotely, especially because most of our team, actually we have 24 team members and Latinos and about 20 in Hustle Media in like 12 different countries. So you're not just dealing with remote people. We're dealing with people in different parts of the world, different time zones. So like our Filipino team is showing up at 10 p.m. Our Egyptian team is showing up at 8 p.m. You know what I'm saying? So the hard part is bringing all these people together and putting them on the same mission, vision, and alignment. I think that's the biggest and the hardest thing for people, which is why a lot of what you mentioned earlier, a lot of the companies went back from remote to in person because I think they experienced that. I think they saw, obviously they were saving money, but I think the misalignment with leadership between working remote and working in office, they saw the gap and they were like, we can't establish what we had in person remotely.
Well, also doesn't help. You can see these things on TikTok about like quiet quitting. Yeah, like, hey, I'm working from my pool, right? Or you hear stories of people working 3 jobs at the same time.
Oh yeah, listen to one. That happens 100%.
So, you mentioned CRM to make sure they're on task. What CRM are you guys using?
Well, right now we're using Go High Level, which is, by the way, a remote company. Like Go High Level, everyone is remote.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you have
familiar with Go High Level?
Yeah, we look. We just have like almost 1,000 people and 100% remote.
Yeah, it's a good product. The tech support is pretty responsive. It's not always on point.
No, it's not,
but it's always responsive.
It for what it is, it's really good. But for what it could be, it's like, man, this
cost is amazing.
And even better, that's 100%. So we went to their event actually 2 years ago, and we met with Sean Baroon and the third guy, real estate. But Sean Baroon is another gentleman. And I asked them, because they have an office in Dallas, but they're like, we just have an office, it's a PO box. Yeah, we just need to send mail there. And I'm like, wait, you guys are all remote? Like, and to me, I could be wrong because we're going to find out. I feel like doing development work is so much harder than doing sales remotely, because you could take a sales call from the beach, right, from the pool. If you're good and you're disciplined, you can close. But development work, I don't know if you could do that. So to me, they built 1,000-person team. Majority of the team is development. They don't really have a sales team like that. They have support force. They don't need a sales team. It's all affiliates, right? And they're 100% remote. And I'm saying that, I'm like, and when I went to see their office, they're only worth a quarter billion. Now they're over $1 billion. They have 80,000 users, and it is that to me what made it. Because in my mind, I'm like, okay, I think we can scale this at $10 million remotely. When I met them and they're 100% remote, I'm like, there's no reason why we can't scale to whatever it is, 100% remote.
Yeah. So you're talking about Zoom.
Yep.
Are you guys on Zoom all day?
Not necessarily all day, like in every single meeting. And actually, I said Zoom, but we were saving costs, and so we went to Google Meet.
Yeah, Zoom was good, but it's expensive. It was costing less. Like
I can meet with tapping now.
Yeah, Zoom means Google Meet is where it's at. It's free to connect to Google, and Zoom was. I could put down a payment for a Lamborghini. Well, how much it was? I'm not even joking. I was like,
well, you're there right now for Google Suite. It's like that's a nice car.
Yeah. Say, bro.
I do know people that are in Google Meet the whole day in order to keep them accountable.
That's crazy.
It's a little bit crazy to me. Like it's a little bit micromanaging, but you don't need to. You just make sure that you're better with your calendar. I say you need to become such a better leader with remote setting so that you create amazing communication systems so you can derive the culture that you want. And it's like a triangle, and I got taught this by the ex-CEO of Property Force before, what happened with Oliver, right? He grew Property Force from $5 million to $40 million in a year, and he talks about you have to become the right leader, and the people that are leaders need to become the right leader, never so much. And create a communication channel and create communication systems that would actually build the proper culture. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day whether you're remote or in office. As long as you're able to create great communication channels and all of that, you can create a great culture.
So let's talk about building them, because we're saying communication leads to the culture.
Yeah.
Yes. So we talked about Slack, we talked about Google Meet, talked about Fathom, but how do you ensure, right? Like because where I struggle the most is like, hey, Omer, I want you to go take care of this, right? Well, take care of what? It's like, well, I need you to do A, B, C. It's like, okay, I'm like, how do I know success? Right? What resources do I need? Why is it important? How much time do you want me to spend on this?
Yeah.
Right? It's like, what other things you guys are doing in communication?
Yeah.
To ensure that everybody is rowing boat in the same direction and we're not losing, through like leakage.
Yeah. So for example, my operations manager, she set up an amazing system in so every single time there's a goal, there is a rock, there is a task that needs to be achieved. There needs to be a deadline. There needs to be a specific template or a specific outing, how that's going to be achieved. You could give them a little bit you give them 10% so that they do the 8% and someone else does the quality check of the task or whatever it is that needs to happen. Yeah, but all of that, really, it all surrounds on how you set the bar and the expectations of what your culture really is and the type of people that you actually hire. You can't expect that this is going to work the same thing that we do is going to work if we hire B players. You can't expect that it's going to happen. You can't expect that our team is coming to work with energy if there is no weekly. We used to do weekly wins of the week meetings, but now it's bi-weekly wins of the week meetings where you only a meeting. It's a wild meeting where we only give shout outs, recognize people, talk about wins, and it's just for that, right? You can't expect people to come fired up when you don't have a great cadence where there is positivity and good transfer of energy every single day in the sales team. You can't expect that doesn't happen in your dispo team either. Like if you don't have that in your dispo team or your account management team as an agency, or you can't expect that people also behave that way, right? Where everyone keeps each other accountable. I think our core values are so good, so well determined, and that we keep them so tight, and everyone knows exactly what that is and what expects from valuable. That at the end of the day, everything is synergy. Like everything starts harmoniously flowing. But obviously, with the systems that you create, for example, every month we're very, very transparent. We do a town hall meeting where every month a town hall, And this town hall meeting is, we're super transparent about what was our revenue, what were our profits. What is it that we learned that we need to stop doing, start doing, and continue doing as an entire company. Who were the major players of that, of the departments, of the different departments, right? Like who were the ones that overachieved, overperformed, and then there's, the competitive charts. And then we recognize and praise a lot of those people, and then ultimately also give them whatever it is to compensate their right behavior, right? And then people go motivated to every single one of those meetings that we create. And also, by the way, we do it by department, and also we do it by core values. So that meeting is, if there is someone that has gone through the entire month showing up with every single core value, the majority of the core values of our company, they get compensated, they get recognized, they get praised, and they earn something, and in the entire and then we tell them why that happened. Well, this person was always active, was always staying to late. And not only that, they achieved 3 projects as opposed to 2 projects. They closed more 5 sales as opposed to 3 sales. Whatever, right? Like these are the core values that they go with.
So I'm hearing a few different things here. Celebrating wins.
Yes.
Click up. Setting appropriate expectations.
Yep.
And having a COO.
Yep.
To set deadlines.
Yes. Operation manager.
Right. An operations person to make sure, like, here's what we're doing.
Yep.
And here are the deadlines associated with it.
Yep.
And then is she also holding them accountable to it?
100%.
Right. And I think that's the key, because like it's really easy to slip. Like if we're working remotely and like, hey, like Omer didn't get his thing done this afternoon, like he said it was, and I don't catch it today's Wednesday, I don't catch it till Friday. Bro, we've lost 2 days of productivity.
Yeah. But also end of the day reports.
Yeah.
So our end of the reports also have, they'll not only submit the KPIs, but they also submit what they worked on today, what do they need help on, stop or tomorrow, offer tomorrow, or things that they ultimately learned to make it better.
Yeah.
It's like a quick report that makes us understand where they are. And sometimes people, it's interesting because on the end of the day reports or the end of the week reports, when we check them, they say such interesting things that will help the process get better, that it's only in their thoughts. And even if it's in person, they will not say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they will write it, but they will not state, like, I need help with this, I'm struggling with this.
Yeah, people's form of communication is different. So some people are much more talkative, and some people are more, they'd rather write it. They feel like, and I literally have one of our leaders, like he'd prefer to write an entire Bible instead of just selling it.
Well, they probably is feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
Like it's formatted correctly.
Yep.
Right. And you can't interrupt them.
Correct. 100%.
But yeah, actually what I like the most about what you just said there is goals for tomorrow.
Yes.
Because it requires planning.
Yes.
In their part. So they start with momentum the next day.
Yes.
So that's definitely something else I want to implement for today. Bicycle review and then goals for tomorrow.
Yes.
Because we got momentum before the day starts.
Yeah. And also on the end of the week report, it's what are your goals for next week?
Yeah.
And energy. Well, how is the energy in the entire week?
Yep.
Because I didn't see you.
Yeah.
Man,
And there's even questions like,
feedback, you guys. I'm going to work for you guys.
should
Remote.
I'll be remote closer. Yeah.
But remote.
Be a remote closer for you guys.
Yeah, I'd love to show you how we have our system set up.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you're wearing, you might offend some people.
Yes.
Right. If they can't read it. Right. Make America remote again.
100%.
What does that even mean?
I'm filming this video for the man himself, Mr. Ian Ross. The guy crushes. The guy's the best person in sales I've ever seen. I've invested elsewhere and I haven't got the same results. I've gone from being a seller, making 5K a month, to being a hybrid role, making 11K a month, to now be 4 months down the line from 5K to on a closing opportunity, inbound, full calendar, with the best opportunity, the best offer in my space. OTE is around 20K a month from month 2. So I've gone from 5K to 20K. If that's not a return on your investment, I don't know what is, man. If you're a salesperson and you don't invest in sales training, you're gonna get left behind because your job is to be better at sales. And sales training directly makes you more money.
My name is Lance McCann. I have recently switched sessions with Ian Ross. Those conversations with Ian has made me $50,000 in the past 2 deals that I've had. I was able to renegotiate, go back and renegotiate the original purchase price on one deal, and I saved $40,000, and I got another $10,000 off my other deals. Call Ian, give him a chance. You won't regret it.
If you like what you just heard and you'd like to have similar types of results, similar success, text CLOSE, CLOSE, to 33777, and we'll see if you qualify to join Advanced Sales Mastery. We are taking people from good to great.
You can easily tell who I'm voting for. Kamala Harris. Of course. So
From our ears.
yeah, from where he is, exactly. Well, the idea was, we're remote and we like to, we want eyeballs on us. And one of the best ways to get eyeballs on you is to be controversial. So,
One of the few ways.
one of the few ways. Yeah, not the only way. So actually, when we went to, we did Ryan Pineda's podcast and then we sponsored his event, we actually flew out our team from Mexico and Colombia and we gave them Protect Our Borders shirts. Protect Our Borders, hire Latino. We lined them up, took pictures of them. It's like, it says Remote Border Patrol. And then I was like, okay, this is great. And we actually got a client from that. They're like, I don't even know what you guys do. Just here's my money. Like this is exactly what it is. And to me, it's like, if anyone gets offended by a hat or a shirt, then you're already someone that I probably don't want to work with. She said, we went to Copa America in San Francisco a couple months ago. Colombia played Brazil, and I literally came up with the idea. I was like, okay, I love to protect our borders. What else can we do that's controversial? And then remote, make America. It was right around. It was right before the assassination attempt, all that stuff, and it just like everything made sense. And actually, this is my podcast. So we have I wrote a podcast that one day I want it to be like this. It's called Make America Remote Again. And we talk about a lot of stuff that we talked about here, businesses. I actually stay out of politics as much as possible because I don't know much about politics, but I also know what will make America remote again. And I also know what will help the country. And I also feel like I know what will help businesses because at the end of the day, we run businesses and, obviously pro-capitalism. And at the end of the day, this country is better when we have borders protected and people come here legally and people come here fairly. When I go to Colombia and I travel anywhere, I have to legally go there, whether it's paperwork or with a visa. So, things like that. Plus, I really believe that people who come here illegally from a lot of these countries, if they know English and they make money online, they will live a much better life in their own country. Because I am one of those people. I live in Colombia, I make American dollars. And my lifestyle in Colombia would cost me $25,000 to $30,000 a month here. Basically, without like the extracurricular activities. But
Who was the guy that was Don't F Me? Who was that guy? I can't remember, right? In the sea with a helicopter.
oh yeah. I mean, yes.
But that guy was doing pretty well, right?
Yes.
Soul Mountain.
Yeah.
That belongs to. So
Yeah.
now remote Latinos. So if someone wants to get more information, wants to work with you guys, right? Because you got to get a lot of value on like how to build a business remotely. But they want to work with remote Latinos. How do they get a hold of you guys?
Well, there's going to be two ways now moving forward. And then actually, we're going to give you a link so that you can send it or show it to everyone. There is two ways. You can book a call with us. So we do a hire for you and then the entire process. It's literally the top 3, top 5 that we screened, we interviewed, everything. Or you can just create a profile in our marketplace and then see it for yourself. All the people that are in there for yourself, right? But in order to get the filters of qualified and rockstar people, you have to pay just starting $97 an hour. $97 per month, not an hour.
Yes.
And then you'll be able to see them. And then there's other packages that you can also choose. You'll be able to see, first of all, even for free, you'll be able to see their videos. You're going to be able to see their information. The type of candidates are in there. You can filter by Mexico, Colombia, Argentina. You can filter by any country. And is kind of like a self-help kind of place, similar to like jobs that PA.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So click the link below or watch scan the QR code. There should be shop popping up, getting open now. And then you actually were here 3 or 4 years ago, back when we were double the size.
Yeah.
Right. When we very first expanded to the other side, we held an event. You were there at that one.
Yes.
So talk to me about your experience at that event.
Well, first of all, dude, like all the stuff that you're doing, I don't think no one is doing. And it's is such a game changer. Like people that are not taking your program, people that are not bringing their team to your program, they're literally missing out, leaving money on the table, because this entire space of flipping, wholesaling, creating, investing is a highly dependable space on lead generation and sales. And you created a infrastructure to teach that really, really well almost every single day. And it's not whether you learn the script, it's like how you're going to adapt it to your business and continuously do that every single day, forever, right? Like your team members, whether that's a lead manager that you bring in, whether it's an acquisition manager that you bring in, or whether that's for yourself to actually learn sales better. And I see that majority of people think that they can sell and think that they can actually close, but they actually suck.
All right.
They actually suck closing. Like we have a lot of clients that without training like yours or training like Ian, they wouldn't realize, oh my God, it's my fault. I shouldn't have the seller off the hook. I shouldn't have prejudged that need. I should have handled that objection that was just fear. I should have pushed a little bit more and challenged the prospect in a way that gets me the opportunity of getting that contract, right? Like, oh my God, I didn't close that deal. The reason why you're not closing contracts, it's your fault. And it's because you don't have these skill sets of sales and ultimately understanding people's behavior really well. And you don't have the behavior of wanting to learn from proper people like you.
Right.
So you have to sign up.
We've sent clients to, and where I get pissed if one of our clients signs up and they don't have their remote team member go. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you trying to figure it out? It's already been figured out. Go through the process. You guys have like the courses. It's one of the best I've seen, and plus you guys offer the coaching call as well. So I think that helps. People when they know real estate or they don't, you teach them sales, and I think they can take that skill anywhere. So even if they don't work out with wholesaling, they at least can take everything that they learned from you and Ian to other industries.
Yeah, you give qualitative feedback to all these business owners, and you give very quality-driven type of coaching to anyone that is going to those calls, whether that's an employee or whether that's the owner themselves.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that was really pleasant for me as I've gone continually diving deeper into sales, like if you look at, I personally feel being a good salesperson also makes you a better husband, better father.
Yes.
And you think about how much money you can spend on therapy later on, like just that alone is worth the cost, right? So wrapping up here, what are some last thoughts you want to leave everybody? We'll start with you.
Yeah. I love how excited Esteban was to be here. So to me, it's our journey to get here feels. Yeah. You can't even have a vision for it. It's like he had a vision before the vision. But I feel like us being here is a testament of how far we've come, and also like how far we still have to go, because at the end of the day, we're doing something right, but we also know that we can help a lot more people. And we hope that, everything that we provided in terms of value for team members and running a remote business in 2024, and really we say 2024, but you can run a remote business from our takeaways here beyond 2024. And one of the things that before coming to this podcast, I did a little research, and it's literally, you said this in the intro every time, you can become a millionaire just to this podcast. No, like literally you can get rich and live a remote life listening to this podcast. And now, that, we're a small percentage of that, and all the other guests that you've had, it's super cool. And it's just applying everything that we have, because we said a lot of stuff, and hopefully it's not too overwhelming. And as long as you take one step at a time about making things better, and you can happen.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I said, I got 2 takeaways that we're going to be able to implement, this week.
I can help you with more, but
yes. Yeah.
So look, I'm an immigrant, and I think that majority of America comes from immigrants. And sometimes people forget where we actually came from, our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents. So we always have that grit. Like we forget the grit, we forget that drive, we forget that plot, right? And that's why we wanted to show people that if you have a passport, you understand other cultures, you've flown to other countries, you understand that there's an opportunity to hire others. that are not necessarily in the US, but hire others from Mexico to Argentina, Colombia, all of that, you can grow your business remote. And one of my missions when I came to the US and Canada was like, I want to show people that Colombians are badasses. Like right now, like you got Shakira, you got Sofia Vergara, you got all this, and they're already bad in that sense. But I wanted to show that they can help your business grow, they can help you do more sales, they can, buy back your time, right? Like all of this, you can do that through remote Latinos, and finally kind of accomplishing one of my mini goals that I had, which is doing something well, like showing that immigrants are literally going to help you. Or not even immigrants, they're not even coming to the country. They're just remote.
No.
Keep them remote.
Keep them remote. Sell our dinner borders, please. Definitely. Don't come here. We're full.
I appreciate that, right? Because I'm also in it. Yeah, so we come here with this. When my parents came here, it was with a vision, right? Like, yes, we're going to do. Here's going to create this life we're going to create. Right? So I grew up with that shit.
Yes.
And I think that a lot of people forget that.
It is also the term immigrant mentality, right? So you come here with nothing and you have to work yourself up. And I think it's the new USA, of the last few years. It feels like it's lost. Like we lost our mojo. We lost the impact that we've had on the world. And not to get political, but make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's this element, right? You see this. Joe Rogan kind of made it big, but good times create weak men create hard times create. Right? It's just this cycle,
and we're in the week.
In the wrong part of the cycle. Right?
Yes, it happens.
It happens. So, someone wants to get a hold of you guys. There's another way to reach you guys.
Go to remotelatinos.com. Follow us on Instagram at Esteban or at Omer Bloch.
Yep. Omer Bloch.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Boom, boom, boom.
Shout out to Steve Trang. Jump on the Steve Trang. Disruptors.